I need that magic in that film, and that magic is... So I just had the privilege of watching Maxine's Baby on Amazon Prime, and I just thought that it was so inspirational, but there's certain lessons that we can all take out from it. The first thing that I believe that we should learn from Tyler Perry is that once you identify who your target demographic is, it doesn't matter who you're up against. It doesn't matter what executive tells you to do this, what producer tells you to do that. Once you've identified your target audience and you know what they want and you're giving them what they want, and you could without a doubt know that you are just giving your audience exactly what they want to maximize that experience for them. Can't no producer, executive tell you anything, really, because you know your audience that you're catering to. You know exactly what they need. You know exactly what's gonna make them laugh. You know exactly what's gonna make them jump, what's gonna make them freeze. In other words, you know the best way to elicit emotions out of your audience. I always say it on the channel, always, always, always. And Tyler Perry knew how to do that. With black people, he knows the jokes. He knows what works. 9 times out of 10, Caucasian executive can't tell him anything about his target demographic because he knew what worked and he stuck to his guns.
I can't watch it without cringing.
I think you crossed the line.
What I will not do is change because some critics think it's not art.
And that brings me to number 2, all right? Sticking to your guns. And I'm gonna identify what his guns were. His guns were essentially how he depicts characters in his films, how he depicts characters in his plays, the story arcs of said characters. You'll often hear many people criticize Tyler Perry and his films for being derivative of each other. That character sounds too ghetto, or that character sounds too black, or the scenes are too melodramatic. Once you've identified your target demographic, everything kind of stems from that one key piece, right? Because you know exactly what they're looking for, and once you're writing something, you know exactly how you want your audience to feel when. Because with respect to Tyler Perry's stories, everything about what the main character is feeling is rooted in the black experience. And so his films are deeply rooted in his experiences and his traumatic experiences growing up. And so yes, in Tyler Perry films, you are going to see some characters who you may deem stereotypical, but I've seen individuals act just the way he's portraying individuals on screen. And so he's being real. He's being true to his experience, right? And so the same way you would see one of my films, it would go through the filtration system of my experience. And no matter what feedback you get from your executives or from your producers or from whomever, you want to make sure you are filtering whatever feedback you get from whoever through your experience. Because let's say you do change this and you do change that, and you take away that quote unquote ghetto character, you take away that comedic ghetto scene, you take away that comedic big, larger than life character that was Medea. What do you get? You get something that is derivative. You get something that is cookie cutter. You get something that is unoriginal, to be honest with you. And so your experience and your perspective is the strongest thing that you have as a filmmaker. And so if you can somehow extract your life experiences, may it be that painful moment, those painful breakups, that painful engagement, that painful family divorce, that excruciatingly painful loss of life that you've experienced, you've got yourself something magical. And the process of making a film is all about how to maximize the impact of that said loss from your experience to the audience. If you lose that as a result of all the feedback that you've gotten, now you've got a script that you don't know what the hell it is anymore because you just changed and took out and just took everybody's feedback, you end up with this nothing mess. Because the one thing that we can get from Tyler Perry is that we know his vision. His vision is very clear, his vision is very direct, It's very straightforward. And you can see his vision from a mile away, right? Because it's very unique to his experience. Definitely as you're making your films, keep that in mind. So I'm in the process of creating a short film right now, and I've certainly received my share of feedback from the screenplay so far. And one thing that I've got from that feedback is that they don't understand why this character feels a certain way, because it was a loss, this massive loss, so as to not, spoil anything. And that's a very vague way of putting it. But my job is to really get that on the screen and to try to elicit that emotion to my audience as effectively as possible. So in my rewrite, what I'm going to do is, okay, how can I utilize all of the techniques and strategies and methods that I have inside of my brain for structure and audience manipulation, all these things that I talk about on the channel, how can I use those methods and techniques to make my audience feel this way? And to be honest, that's what the whole film is leading up to. It's leading up to this experience that I've had in my life. It's a metaphor for this experience, right? And that's where you're gonna find your strongest strength, really. That is your secret sauce that you have as filmmakers. That is the thing that's most important, is to find in every single story. I'd say that's the biggest thing that I've learned in the last couple of years, is that in every single story that I produce, I need that magic. And that magic is that key experience that I've experienced in life, that thing that I know exactly what it feels like in my heart. I know the layers that it took me to get there emotionally, and I know emotionally how to get out of those places. Or maybe you don't. You put all of that in the film, and you try to convey those emotions and to convey those complexities in your film as effectively as possible. But the biggest thing that I think is dope about Tyler Perry is that he identified how he wanted his audience to feel so well. He knows his demographic, he knew who he was talking to. Therefore, he didn't take much feedback from those executives who told him to, change this or change that, even his own people, right? Because he knows what he should be doing to elicit the maximum amount of feeling possible in his audience. And it shows, the numbers show it. You guys can have all of the opinions that you want to about Tyler Perry, right? But the thing is that he knows his target demographic. And many of his films, as the documentary points out, has hit #1 like every time he releases it. Because his people show up, like we show up to the movie because we know exactly what experience we're gonna get from the movie, and we know exactly how we're gonna feel when we watch a Tyler Perry movie. What did you guys think about Maxine's Baby if you've seen it before? Definitely take a look at my film, The Brotherhood. It's on Amazon Prime, Tubi TV, and a bunch of other streaming platforms. Grab yourself a Clover Key. It's a camera plate, screwdriver, and a bottle opener you can definitely utilize when you're on set filming. Always be developing, creating, distributing, and marketing. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. Until next time, peace.